Yo, what's going on? The Goofy Fella Show episode 14 is what's going on. Hold that thought. May not be episode 14. Bum, bum, bum. Yo, what's going on? The Goofy Fella Show episode 13 is what's going on. 14 is in the future. 13 is the present. That's what we're looking at now. I'm not feeling super confident about this episode. Let me start out with that. That should set the tone for the entire episode. That I'm not feeling confident, not feeling good, not feeling funny. We're gonna do a little podcasting, do a little talking. Hope everybody enjoys. I went on Twitch. So Twitch is a viewing service where you can go on, you can watch people play video games and dancing and hot tubs and things like that. But there's a podcasting section where people are podcasting. I went on there. I went in different podcasts, asked people, hey, I've got a small podcast. I see you only have 4 viewers. Would you be interested in collabing a little bit? Let's do a podcast right now. None of them were interested. Pretentious bastards. Who do they think they are? You got 4 viewers. You got 12 viewers. What do you think? Me coming into your podcast is going to interrupt some kind of thing you have going on? It's going to interrupt your viewer base. I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to say what? The N word? What do you think I'm going to say? Like the P word? What do you think I'm going to say? The W word or something? Come on, man. If I did that, so that's my goal. So what I do for you guys, the viewers, the people who watch this, I go into random people who are talking live, who are currently doing a podcast, and I'm like, hey, let me jump in there. I do that with popular video game players. I do that with people who are talking. I've jumped into a bunch of chats and said, hey, let's do a podcast right now. And the only thing I get is like, hey, email. Oh, I do it to old people is my problem. They're like, yo, give me an email. Now, if you are a person who's looking into my channel because I'm currently in your chat and saying, hey, let's do a collab, then I'm not talking about you. You're cool and you're young and hip and I want to collab with you. But if that's not your case, then what I want you to do is go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, bell. You ever heard of the bell? Any bell ringers? Let's do a little doing. Let's do a little Taco Bell dong. And that way you can see my videos quicker or something like that. I don't know how that works. Today I have 2 topics that I'm not super interested in talking about because I don't know how much comedy I can draw out of them, and that's kind of my basis on my topics. Can I draw comedy out of this? And I think the answer is no. I live in a state. I don't know. It's going to give away the state. I live in Florida, the Sunshine State. You guys ever heard that? The Sunshine State is Florida? That's a lie, actually. Today was sunshiny, and it was kind of a rare occurrence. I was like, oh my god, it's so bright today. It's hot, humid, miserably humid. I don't know if any of you guys have been to Florida. If anyone's been to Florida, leave a comment and say, hey, I've been to Florida. And then I'll be like, oh shit, you've been to Florida? And you can say, yeah, I went to Ballsack, Florida. And I'll be like, yo, I've never heard of that actually. And you'll be like, yo, where are you from? And I'll be like, oh, I'm from Coxsack, Florida. And you'll be like, oh shit, I've never heard of that. And then the conversation will end because I'll lose interest and I don't really want to talk to you. That'll be the end of our conversation, but that'll be like 4 or 5 comments, and it'll add to my analytics, and it'll be good. So let's have that conversation, even though it's going to be meaningless. Florida sucks. Florida is flat. It's not pretty. I don't know what people have told you. The liars who say, hey, come to Florida, beautiful beaches. What else do we have? Swamps. Is that a positive? If I were to tell you, hey, do you want to go to a swamp? What would be your first thought? My first thought would be no. No, I don't currently want to go to a swamp. That sounds bad. Unless I have like one of those air boats, but even that sounds bad. It's loud. I've never been in one. I can imagine it's loud because boat's pretty quiet. Air's pretty quiet as well, so you'd think it would be a quiet experience, but no. It's actually a very loud experience. And then you have gators, you have snakes. We have the what's that swamp we have down south here in Florida? The Everglades. The Everglades, go down to the Everglades. There's snakes. It's snake-ridden. It's actually a big problem there with pythons and snakes that don't belong there. Alligators, I don't think there's crocs. There's a big difference between crocs and alligators. Alligators will fuck you up if you like step on them. If you actively attack an alligator, it'll fuck you up. A crocodile will hunt you down. You could be chilling, minding your own business in your house. Crocodile busts down the door and says, where's the fucking money? And then eats you. And then eats your money. Crocodiles are no joke. But worse than crocodiles, we have this governor, Ron DeSantis. I'm a fan of the guy. I like the guy. Things are coming out currently that I'm not too big of a fan of. But overall, I think our governor, Ron DeSantis, has done well with the state. That may be a hot topic, but that is where I'm going to stand as a working Florida resident. I'm doing okay under Ron DeSantis. That's what I'll say. Currently, Mr. Ron DeSantis, which is kind of a Mexican name, if you ask me. DeSantis. It's like Cortez. It's a little bit Mexican. He doesn't look Mexican. Not that there's anything wrong with being Mexican. That's fine. If you choose to go down that path, I suppose. He's in a fight with Mickey Mouse. So currently Ron DeSantis is fist fighting Mickey Mouse. For what reason, you may ask? Gay people. Which side doesn't like gay people? It's hard to tell at this point. But Ron DeSantis came out with a bill. And the famous thing that people are saying about this bill is don't say gay. That's the big topic on it. And Disney kind of pushed back on this. So Disney's located in Florida and California. The Florida side of it, this is where it gets, to where it's politics. Because you would think, why is this private corporation battling with a state governor? Doesn't make any sense. Here's where it makes sense. So Disney has this thing called the Andrew. Oh no, I'm sorry. I closed it. The Reedy Creek Improvement Act. What that is, that's an agreement between Disney and the state of Florida. And Mr. Ron DeSantis was not a big fan of this because of their opposition to his hating gay people, which he doesn't actually do, but the The public eye says Ron DeSantis, he's gay. Ron DeSantis likes boys. However, comma, in his legislation, he's not a big fan of gay people. And Disney was not a big fan of this, so they oppositioned him, which then in turn caused him to redact. He drafted and voted on a bill that would end the Reedy Creek Improvement Act. Now, let me tell you folks, let me tell you people, what the Reedy Creek Improvement Act was. What it did, and for anyone that's been to Disney, you understand this. It essentially allows Disney to operate as its own entity, its own government. So if you go onto a Disney-owned land, or Reedy Creek, then you are no longer in the state of Florida. You are in Mickey Mouse house. Whose house, you may ask? Mickey Mouse's house. And their streets, that's owned by them. And I looked this up earlier and I closed it because I felt that I could remember it, but that was 4 or 5 beers earlier. I've been trying very hard to get into another person's stream, but in turn that just made it way harder to do this podcast by myself. It means they can they fix their own roads, and they if there's a 9/11 occurrence, the government isn't. I don't know, dude. It means they're their own government. If you go into a Disney territory, you're no longer in the United States. You're no longer in Florida. DeSantis wants to counteract that, and I don't know what any profit he would gain from this, other than just taking a stab at Disney and taking away like their biggest thing they have. Because if I was a landowner and the landowner or the government came to me and said, hey, everything on your land, you make your own laws, you make your own rules, you take care of all that stuff, we're going to stay out of it. That would be awesome. To me, as a landowner, as I'm my own country now, if you come onto my land, it's me. You got to answer to me. I'm Dutton, baby. I've never seen Yellowstone, but I feel as though I'm Dutton. So Disney wasn't a big fan of this. The House of the Mouse was not too happy about this. So the CEO came out, said something, and DeSantis just said, you guys started this, which I don't feel as though they did. We have this small thing in this country called freedom of speech. Even private companies are allowed to operate under this, and they're allowed to say, they're allowed to oppose any government action. So the government said, hey, we're going to do this. Disney said, that's stupid. I don't agree with it. And I think his argument, Ron DeSantis' argument, was Disney said they were going to make legal action against it. So that's why he did what he did. But I don't know if Disney has currently made opposition. Who cares, though? DeSantis, he just went on Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson furrowed his eyebrows and went, are gay people really human? And DeSantis went, of course not. Who would think that? Next story. That's a good segue into my next story. Mr. Andrew Tate. Has anyone ever heard of Andrew Tate? Any Andrew Taters? Andrew Tate was arrested recently. He was if you give a shit about this realm, then it was a big deal, because he's been saying this awful shit for a long time. He's been saying, I'm going to get arrested for this. I'm going to be killed for this. And then he was arrested. He was arrested probably a week ago, I would feel. Today is the 9th of January, 2023. Probably a week ago, probably towards the first of the year, they arrested him. He came out on... Who was that? Was that Tucker Carlson as well? Has Tucker Carlson gotten all of the...
Back to the channel, everyone. Today...
I don't care what you're saying. Entertain this one. Yeah, Tucker Carlson. He's going sicko mode. This man with he always looks like the sun is in his eyes. He's getting all the big stories. So he got Disney. He got Ron DeSantis on there, and he's had Andrew Tate talking about his arrest. The first interview Andrew Tate did. And Andrew Tate claims that this has been a swatting. So for those of you that don't know what a swatting is, streaming is a very popular platform that people gain popularity on these days. What you do is, it started out with, like, I'm doing an action, and that action was mainly video games or a sport or something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to film myself and live broadcast that to the public. What it's turned into is podcasting. It's turned into, I'm just going to... I don't quite understand the difference between podcasting and like a Let's Talk situation. A Let's Talk situation is more of like there's no topic to it. It's just people having conversation. But I feel that falls under podcasting. So it's where people are talking, and most of the time they have a face cam on. And what was I saying? I don't know. The podcasting. Andrew Tate, maybe? So what Andrew Tate was doing is he was doing a podcast where he was live streaming with his face, and when popular people are doing this and you have this big of a crowd watching you and listening to you, you happen to have a few sociopaths in that viewing group. And what they like to do is they like to collect your information, your IP address, figure out where you are, and then call in a bomb threat at your house. So what happens from that is the SWAT team is called onto your address while you're currently live streaming. And so it's a funny event. It's like, oh, while I'm streaming, the cops are coming in and they're killing my dog, and they're putting their knee on my neck for however many seconds, it takes. And it's a funny event. So Andrew Tate, he's filmed with many other people who have been swatted, XUC, Adrian Ross, people like that. And so it was only a matter of time. If he was to continue live streaming, he was going to get swatted as well. So that's his claim. That is Andrew Tate's claim. The general information that has been put out recently is that Andrew Tate has been arrested for human trafficking, and so that was what the SWAT was called in for. It wasn't a bomb threat. It was that he had women captured in his house under human trafficking. So they came in, arrested him for that, found no evidence, and he claims that he was released 45 minutes after being arrested. If that is the case, Andrew Tate's not a dude to stay silent. He's not really interested in being quiet. So the fact that he hasn't released anything for the past week, and then goes on Tucker Carlson a week later after being arrested and said he was only being held for 45 minutes. I'm not sure about that. We'll see as more information comes out. But if anyone's coming here for news, if you came here and you said, wow, I'm not getting the news I need to suffice my desires, I'll just tell you to fuck off. I don't know. Don't come here for that. Do you know what this is? Have you ever been here? This is the Goofy Fella Show. Look at the title. You're not going to get any serious content here. Do I give a shit about Andrew Tate? No, of course not. Is he funny? Yes, I enjoy listening to him. Do I like the fact that he isn't actually a human trafficker? Of course, because that means there's one less human trafficker in this world. If you want to look at human traffickers, go look at Epstein. Go look at Bill Clinton. Go look at Bill Gates. Go look at any other politician. Go look at a politician and dig deep enough, you'll find human trafficking in there. You'll find baby blood in there. You'll find interdimensional beings in there. You will find sucking on toes in there. You'll find some sick shit. You know who else is in there? The United States Postal Service. Every single person who works for the United States Postal Service sucks toes of babies and sucks the blood out of the baby toes. And then what do? They sacrifice those babies to interdimensional beings. And then what do? They lose your package. Where do they lose it? I don't know. Probably in the dimensions. As the interdimensional being that they just had sex with and drank the baby blood out of the toes of, they throw the package in there. Maybe they shove it up their ass. I don't know. But they don't. There's one thing that's 100% sure. The United States Postal Service is not putting that package at your doorstep. I ordered weeks ago. It's been almost a month. We're coming up on a month. I ordered a package. It is a Rubik's Cube. It is roughly 2 foot high and 2 foot wide. It is a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Have I seen it? No. Not here. Have I gotten an update on its current location? Of course not. Do I understand it's around holiday times? Yes, of course. I'm an understanding human being. But my wife has ordered multiple packages since then, and they have arrived. So I don't, maybe it's the size, maybe it's the girth. Maybe my girth is too large. Maybe that's what I'm running into. A problem that has chased me my entire life. What do you guys want to talk about? I brought this up a few times, and my issue is, and I found this, I bring it up too late in the podcast. What I need to do is bring this up very first thing. If you guys want to talk to me about anything, and I mean anything, if you would like to debate, if you would like to share a story, if you would like to express a point of view, I would be super interested to have you on the podcast, and we will talk about it. You let me know the time of day. You let me know the date. You let me know the medium we will be speaking through. If you would like to do it in person, that is fine. If you would like to do it over the web, over the worldwide internet, have you guys heard of that? We can make that happen. I've got plenty of platforms I can run off of. If you guys would like to speak through Pigeon, Messenger Pigeon, I could figure that out, I suppose. Smoke signals, I don't do smoke signals actually, because that's more of a Native American thing, and I view them as weak. If you guys want to talk about why I view the Native American as weak, I'm glad to talk about that. I have a lot of good points, and if you want to debate with me on those, let's go for it. Let me know, leave a comment, say whatever you're thinking. Whatever is on your mind that you would like to release onto the world, put it in a comment. With that, we're going to take a quick tenor, and a tenor is a 10-minute intermission. It won't be that long because I don't want the video to be too long. So I will see you guys on the flip side. Goodbye.
Billions and 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 billions and
And we're back to the Goofy Fella Show, episode 13. Everyone's hyped. I hope you enjoyed the intermission content I put in there. I tried to keep it sweet and short. I haven't actually picked anything yet, so hopefully you enjoyed it. While we were on intermission, you can't actually tell. So the cool part is, it could be days later. It could not be the same day. It is. It is the same day. You won't know. You don't know. So what I did is I went outside to check my mail while we were on intermission, because while we're on intermission, I like to read books, I like to paint, I like to tend to my garden, and I like to check my mail. And so what I did is I did all the other tasks. I went out to check my mail, and I actually live on, I told you guys earlier I lived in Florida. That's a lie. I actually live in the crack-riddled town of Los Angeles. And I live on Skid Row. I went outside, checked my mail, and one of the local crackheads came up to me and said, "Hey, would you like to try crack?" So I actually tried crack cocaine for the first time on intermission. It's good. Whatever you guys have heard about crack, good. I would give it maybe a 9 out of 10. It really opens the nasal passages. I can breathe for the first time in 4 years. It gave me a little bit of energy. Probably about the same energy as a NOS energy drink. If you guys have tried NOS, it's similar to that. I haven't had any of the negative side effects that I've heard about yet. So if I had to give like a Yelp review, if you were to tell me, hey, would you mind giving a Yelp review of crack? Good. I would say mostly positive. I don't have anything for the second half.